Hey, on this episode of SAMP&CHANCE Boxing, guys, we are going back to Saudi Arabia. I take a look at Anthony Joshua's knockout of Ngannou. We're also going to take a look at Joyce and Zhang. Also, guys, we are going to take a look at the fight that was announced late last week, Tyson and Paul. What do you guys think? All this and so much more on this episode of SAMP&CHANCE. So, guys and gals, strap in, and thank you for letting us into your ears. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to episode of SAMP&CHANCE. I'm your host, Bobby Sanson, joined as always with my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Mr. Michaels, happy Thursday, happy Friday Eve. How you doing, my man?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. The weekend is quickly fast upon us. Now, is it just me or yeah, maybe it's just me. Is it every week going faster and faster? Like we're already in mid-March, spring is around the corner.
Not just you, man. Time flies. Time flies.
I don't know if it's something as you get older, it just goes faster
And
and
when you get older,
faster. It just, I don't know. It just, the days are just,
they go by like this. Yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy.
like instantaneously, man. But hey, you know what? That's cool because that just gets us closer and closer to the things that we want to see. And if the boxing schedule is anything,
Loaded right now. Wow.
right, it's loaded. I mean, yeah, we're in a bit of a lull right now,
Yeah.
but after this April, it picks up like nobody's business,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, I mean, there's so much going on, but you know what? Let's just focus on the now. And we have a lot of time to discuss all those things. So why don't we get into it, man? Let's go back to Saudi Arabia. I think that's just the place we need to go right now. Riyadh, here we go. Why don't we talk about Joshua and Ngannou and what that fight really meant at the end of the day? Here we go. So your thoughts on that match, man? Honestly, what did you think when you saw that?
Well, it was impressive in a way, but in a way not. First of all, I got to say, this thing started at like 9 in the morning out here and didn't finish like 5. It was like an 8-hour pay-per-view. This thing was the longest thing I've ever seen in my life. And there was too much downtime. All the boxing writers agreed with me. I even told that you on the phone. Too much downtime in between the fights. 20, 30 minutes with all these segments. Like, get the next fight going, guys. Come on.
Well, those Saudis are different. Those Saudis are different.
No, I get it, but
no. I just want to make a point of that because you're right. I think a lot of people felt that way. But you know what? Matchroom, Queensbury, any promotion that was involved in it had nothing to do with the production.
Right? No, I know. Wasn't
Dana White said it best in his own comments when he said it on Friday or on Saturday after the pay-per-view. Because look, when we go into Saudi Arabia, we bring our own production teams. The Saudis ran that, right? Even Eddie was saying that. But to the match itself, I mean, this is what Tyson should have done in the first fight, right? Like, let's be honest. I mean, okay, if it was MMA, if it was a street fight, Ngannou would kick both their asses at the same time, no problem, right? But just based on boxing rules, what Ngannou showed in that first fight against Tyson Fury was a guy who didn't come prepared, regardless if he says he did or not, right? And I think that built up that confidence in Ngannou because you see him at the press conference. Overconfident. He's jawing with Tyson Fury and not paying attention to the guy he's supposed to fight. You got Joshua who's on this path of redemption and trying to prove everybody wrong. That I'm back. I'm AJ's back, sort of a deal. And he showed that. I mean, I think the best part of that fight was Tyson's face after the knockout.
One thing that I took away from it, I don't think AJ's back yet till he fights Fury, and then he beats Fury. Then I'll say that he's beating on guys he should beat. Ngannou looked like a pylon. The one thing that I took away is that Joshua was like a hypnotist. He was throwing his arm like this, look over here, buddy, and then bam, hit him with the right hand. Actually, I thought after the second knockdown, the ref should have stopped the fight. He was already concussed. His eyes were dilated. He didn't know where he was, and then he got hit so hard he didn't even feel the third punch. Ngannou said that I didn't even feel that I got hit the third time. That's how hard I got right on the button. Joshua did what he was supposed to do. He looks good. The one thing, I did think Ngannou was a win. He didn't. That's fine. That's prediction business. You can't always get him right. I'm glad in a way that AJ did win because all we need now is for Fury to beat Usyk, which I think he will, and then we're going to have the clash of the Titans. Fury, Joshua, let's get it on. That's what we all want to see. All Fury has to do is beat Usyk, and it's going down.
Well, okay, so very simply, how that probably plays out right now is they're going to fight in May, right? Once that match is done, there is a rematch clause. He can't get away from it. So we're going to get Usyk Fury 2 at some point in the year. And because the IBF.
Unless it's a brutal beatdown like Spence Crawford, then one of them will step aside and you're out of there.
Well, let's hope, right? It all depends on what they're going to do, right? I mean, if it's a really bad beatdown, yes, that's what you expect, and that's what we expected when we saw Deontay Wilder in that last fight and the second fight. There shouldn't have been a rematch, but they pushed for it.
Here's the easy fight to make: you either make Ngannou versus Wilder or Ngannou versus. We're saying let the two big boys smash.
I think honestly, Francis needs to go down a couple levels and get some actual matches in.
He won't.
Well, but
he's like Brock Lesnar. He came
what?
in there to fight the best. If he's not fighting the best, he'll do MMA.
Then he should just stick to MMA if that's his path, in my opinion. I don't think he fares well, right? Against
well, it's the same. He's the same road as Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar came in to MMA, beat up the guy in Japan, kicked his butt, fought Frank Mir, got caught in the ankle lock, right? So he's 1-on-1. Same thing Ngannou was. Came back, beat a bunch of guys up, became the champ. So that's Ngannou's mindset. People forget the talent of Ngannou and Lesnar to do what they're doing.
But in MMA, Brock already had wrestling in his back pocket. He didn't have the striking. He already had a fundamental, piece there for MMA.
Yeah, but remember, Ngannou's original art is boxing.
Barely.
He's too much of a money guy. He's not going to fight low guys. He either fights top guys or he'll just do MMA.
Well, yeah, fair enough. But very quickly before we go on here, so the way this should probably play out, you got those two fighting in May. The winner of that one, well, I mean, unless they can figure it out, if it's such a horrible beatdown, they can give some money to the other guy to walk away, and then we can get that match. But the way I kind of see it playing out is, regardless of who wins, you're going to get the rematch. Now, I understand that the IBF title will become vacant after this, right?
Usyk will not fight Fury a third time. There's no need for that fight. He beat him convincingly twice. So if
I'm not even talking about that.
We won't see that.
Yeah, right. But but it's neither here or there. But what I'm saying is, then you got Hrgovic against Joshua in July for the vacant IBF title, while those two fight, and then we'll probably get Tyson and Joshua early 2025.
Unless Usyk wins, and we won't see Joshua get a chance at undisputed belts, because there's no need for that fight. Nobody wants to see that fight. He already beat his butt twice.
The way
Joshua needs Fury to win, basically.
The way Joshua's fighting right now, that looks attractive, only for the fact that we're seeing a different type of Joshua.
Yeah, but he's already beat him twice. Nobody wants to put money up and watch that fight again. There's no point.
Man. Let's see how it plays
out. When you're 0-2. Usyk said, I will not fight him again. I've already beat him twice. Usyk shouldn't have to. He's already beat him twice. He had his chance. He lost twice. Joshua needs Fury to win to get to the undisputed belts back.
All right. Round number 2, Joseph Parker against Zhang. I think Zhang gave up after knocking him down. He just was very not there, and Joseph just showed the heart of a warrior, man, and he just kept punching back. And I think that was the right decision. You?
Right decision, but Zhang didn't give up. He gassed out. He had no gas left in the tank. He's too big. He hits hard. Parker even said he hits hard. He knocked him down twice. He couldn't finish him. And like you said, Parker outworked him. Zhang, after like the 4th, 5th round, was a pylon. He was just too gassed. He was out of shape, and Parker outpunched him, stole the late rounds, and won the fight. Yeah, the decision was right. Parker's winning there against Zhang and Wilder. So, I mean, he's not scared of the heavy hitters. And it was a good performance. So I thought Zhang, after the 2 knockdowns, was going to finish him off. Everybody thought Zhang's got this, and Parker wouldn't go away.
It just shows
better conditioning, and he's a more fit athlete.
It just shows you, in my opinion, how much Tyson Fury took out of Deontay Wilder, because you couldn't even knock down Parker.
I know.
Right. And Zhang, who's 40 years old as well. Like, and both those guys are about, the same age.
Yeah.
Zhang, he knocked him down twice. But like you said, yeah, he gassed out. Maybe I used that word wrong. He didn't give up. He gassed out. Mm-hmm. But he was just holding for that one shot again. And Parker just didn't let him have it. I mean, where does Parker go from here now, man? Where does he fit in? Like, what's he going to do?
In the mix. He's getting in the mix of the Furies, the Joshua's, the Usyks. He's kind of maybe fight Daniel Dubois. Like, he's kind of like in that whole.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird where the heavyweight division is, in my opinion, because like we talked about in the previous round, we already kind of mapped out where these belts are going for the next year and a bit. So what does a guy like Parker, what does a guy, maybe not even Zhang right now, but guys like Parker and Hrgovic and Joshua's, like we kind of know Joshua and Hrgovic are probably going to go for that vacant IBF title in July or something like that. But what does a guy do for the next year? Like, I mean, you're on such a roll.
Against Ngannou and get Parker, get him a fight, make him some money. Ngannou gets a redemption chance, a smaller guy, not really a hard hitter.
His ass too, though.
He might. He
right?
might also get tagged and go down. It's hard to say, but he
It's
probably
hard
will.
to say, but I mean, now that you kind of know what he's looking for and the way he's going to come at you, like, I mean, I think Nagano needs to go back and work on his technique a bit. Like he was really exposed. I'm sorry to say that, right? I
Yeah, he
mean,
was.
it's
Yeah,
the reality of it. I mean, and I think that, like I said, the best part was looking at Tyson's face, like, oh shit, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's like I should have done that, sort of a deal. But yeah, like I'm just curious now what they do with Parker. Who's a good opponent for him? Like, who would be a good opponent? Like, I mean. Interesting. If I like it right now. I like where we are. It's just a lot of speculation and a lot of kind of, where does everyone go here, sort of a deal. So I
yeah.
don't know, man.
Good performance by Parker. Like I said, Zhang had it in the bag. He gassed out. Parker is a better athlete, more fit, and he ended up losing decision. The refs got it. The judges got it right. It was a
Yeah,
close
yeah,
decision. But they got it right.
yeah. I want to hit one more match on that card. Nick Ball against Vargas, man. That was robbery. I think
Yeah,
Ball won
but
that fight. Knocking down Vargas as well, and Vargas was, really trying to accentuate that whole kind of falling down thing, and it caught up to him.
mhm.
But Nick Ball got robbed, man. I mean, that plain and simple. Yes, no,
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing there.
guys, go back and look at that fight. It was a
Judges
fun
were pretty
fight.
good all night, but they got that one
Yeah,
wrong.
they got that one really, really wrong. Wrong guy definitely won. I like to see that as a rematch, and who knows, man? Let's see where they come back with that one. I mean, there are a lot of guys promoted. Like I guess even Al Heyman, that was a Hal Heyman guy, right? He was a PBC guy.
Yeah,
So, but it's kind of funny if you look at the backdrop. BBC wasn't listed there anywhere as one of the promoters or sponsors or anything. Interesting, just a point, something I'm bringing up.
well, yeah, just because they had their fighter, they weren't part of the team. Just they got the purse bid for it. That's why they got it.
Fair enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now it is time to talk about the fight that was just announced last week. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Okay, look, it's a money grab. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. It's a lot of money involved. Fair play. But this is Vitor Belfort against Holyfield all over again, in my opinion.
No, because those are two old guys. Jake is young. He's fit. He's in his prime. This will be the biggest watched boxing event ever. Why? It's free and it's on Netflix. Netflix is doing big business here. So if you have Netflix, you can watch it. But a lot of people, a lot of casuals are going to order up Netflix even for the month, 2 months, just to watch it. This will be the most viewed boxing event ever, hands down, because it's free. It's Mike Tyson. He's got all the fans. Jake Paul's got his following. People want to see Paul lose. It's funny. In reality, in real life, Tyson is the bad guy. But we're making Jake Paul the bad guy. This is how messed up society is. But this will be a massive fight. Everybody's going to watch it. The only one thing they need to do, stack the undercard because everybody's going to be watching it. I know guys don't even watch boxing at our touch football practice talking about this fight. This fight is getting hyped. Whatever happens, and who knows, but I'm glad it's happening. It's going to be 10 rounds. It's not going to be an exhibition. It's not going to be headgear. All those guys saying that are full of crap. Texas Commission will sanction this as a pro fight, and they're going to get it on. And the press conference is going to be fire. This will be the biggest match of the year. Whether it's a flub or not, who knows in the ring? Nothing will compare to this as far as eyeballs on the screen.
Yeah, and that's all it is in terms
That's all that matters.
right. But in terms of an actual boxing match, it's sad.
I like it. Why
I don't,
not?
man.
The old heavyweight champion wants to make a couple bucks.
Like Tyson's walking around with a walking stick, man. Last week.
Yeah, but he'll be right. He's still got 4 months to go.
No, I get that, but it's just
He has to be cleared by the doctors. He has to be cleared by the commission, or he won't be allowed to fight.
Yeah.
And good for Jake Paul. He's basically throwing one of his heroes a bone, saying, "Listen, fight me, you'll get paid big money. I want to use you as a stepping stone." Jake Paul makes people money, right? And they don't really hate each other. Tyson said, "Oh, I could beat him easy." Well, I'll beat the old man. It's tongue in cheek. There's no real bad blood here. They know the one thing is the dollars, and good for them.
Well, I don't think my concern is the bad blood or any of that kind of stuff. I'll tune in too. Yeah, we're all going to tune in regardless. I just think that 31, 32 age, 31, 32 age ear gap, just kind of
30, 27, 57, yeah.
Right. I mean, it doesn't look good optically. It doesn't look good. I get it, whatnot. I hope it's a good card. Like you said, I hope that undercard is really good. I
Yeah,
think
they should.
going to need. But in terms of just that, like, I mean, who knows? Like, I mean, you're right. We got 4 months to build
I'm
on.
happy for them. They're making a lot of money. Everybody's going to watch it. It's the first ever fight on Netflix. Netflix is doing big business with wrestling and boxing. They're letting Amazon Prime know this is how you do it. This is
Yeah.
a way better than Amazon Prime. You got to buy the pay-per-view. This one's free. They're doing
Yeah.
it for free
Well,
because they
listen,
know a lot of
yeah.
sponsors. So I'm
Well,
happy. I'm looking forward to it.
we will probably touch on this card a bit more as we get closer to it, but I mean, those are our initial reactions.
At
But
the end
hey,
of the day, it's prize fighting, and they're making the most money they can. So that's all that matters, and good for them.
all right, let's move on to what's actually happening this weekend. We got one card happening this weekend. William Zepeda against Maxi Hughes for title eliminator, lightweight title eliminator for the IBF and the WBO title eliminators. What do you think, man? How do you look at this card? You got Maxi coming off his loss to Kambosos, which a lot of people thought he won. And you got Zepeda coming in strong. I mean, this guy's a powerhouse. How do you see this playing out?
It's a this is a close fight, actually. You know what I've been thinking
Right?
about it. Williams undefeated. He's 29-0. He's got 25 knockouts. Hughes only got 6 losses. Sorry, the fight with Kambosos was close. It could have went either way. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think Williams Zepeda is too much for him. I know Hughes wants to make a comeback and let everybody know he got robbed, but I just think Williams Zepeda is undefeated, 29 wins, 25 KOs.
Yeah.
That says a lot. So
Well,
I got Williams Zepeda to win a decision. It's a free card in the zone.
Yeah.
So everybody can watch it. I like how the zone does that. They're putting a lot of fights right now. They're trying to really make a comeback, and this is a good fight. I mean, it's a free one. It's not going to be a big box office shakedown, but I just think Williams Zepeda stays undefeated, man, and Maxi Hughes is going to lose 2 in a row.
Well, you know what? This is a card for boxing fans, right? I mean, I don't expect a casual fan to show up. I expect boxing fans to show up for this, right? It's a great card. I really like it. I'm really, really excited to watch Floyd Schofield fight. I mean, this guy's been drawing a lot recently, him and his father, saying that, these are the guys that we want to fight. He's talking about who's he talking about? He's talking about Tank. He's talking about Dimples. What's his name? Come on, help me.
Of course, he's just trying to make us get money, right?
But the kid is good. The kid is good. I think
he's undefeated. He's 16-0.
Yeah, like people tune into this card. If not,
dude, he's only and Sofield's only 21.
Exactly, right? And this kid's making waves, right? So guys, girls, please tune into this card. I think the main event and the co-main event will not disappoint.
Yeah, Floyd Schofield's an up-and-comer. He is a future star, future champion. I mean, he's got a good opponent, but I mean, he's going to beat him.
And he seems like he's coming from a different place than everyone else. He's not aligned with anybody. You know what I mean? Like in terms
of be soon, though.
No, I get it. But in terms of like, okay, these guys are friends, those guys are friends, this and that, right? So it should, like Shakir Stevenson.
Essentially, this is a tune-up fight for Schofield, just to beat this guy, knock this guy down, knock him out, get your name on the pedestal, talk some trash in the ring after, call it a bunch of guys. And this guy's a stepping stone. But sometimes those stepping stones, they upset you, but we'll see.
No, I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's going to be a really fun fight. I'm excited for this card. It's just like you know what? It's kind of like this. You get the big blockbusters, this and that, but every once in a while, you just kind of want to watch something just for the sport. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, I guess I know what you mean. Sometimes these cards are better than the blockbuster ones, but the blockbuster ones that make these guys the money, they all want to get to that level. I know what you're saying.
But just as a boxing guy, sometimes it's nice. It's like being able to just to watch something without any kind of nonsense, and you're just watching boxing.
Yeah,
and I love that. Like with all the blockbuster cards that we get, I think I'm starting to appreciate these cards a bit more just for the fact of what they bring, and just that enjoyment.
Yes and no. Sometimes, I mean, sometimes there's a lot of duds on those undercards too, right? Sometimes they're great. It just depends.
Even on the blockbusters, there are duds there as well, right? Even the main event.
But then you're hyped up because you got that. There's nothing like a big event feel, right?
I get it. But sometimes it's just nice, like to have that vacation and watch boxing, right? With like-minded people who appreciate the sport for what it is, opposed to the casual fan coming in and thinking they know it all.
Yeah, but it's nothing like watching the two stars go at it, though.
Well, I'm not complaining, but I enjoy these cards too. I mean, I'm the kind of guy who watches Pro Box TV on Wednesday evenings, right? Who's watching that for the most part?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you love the sport, you watch it all, right?
Pretty much.
It's like F1. It's like F1. People tune in for the race, but I tune in for the qualifying. I tune in for the practice because I love the sport. right? So same kind of thing. All right, brother man, I tell you what, let's wrap this puppy up. But before we do that, do we have anything on this day in boxing history or this week in
We
boxing
do,
history?
yes. One of my top 10 favorite fighters, Miguel Cotto, defended the WBA junior middleweight title with a 12th round KO of Ricardo Mayorga in Las Vegas in 2011. Yeah, right after Cotto got his butt kicked by Manny Pacquiao, pillar to post, came back and defended his junior middleweight title with the win over Ricardo Mayorga, who was actually a pretty game fighter. He's a top fighter, had some lot of good fights, Mayorga, and Miguel Cotto in his time. Puerto Rican, man. Tough guy.
Okay, very, very quickly, you mentioned Manny Pacquiao. We didn't mention it on the show, but it seems that him and Conor Benn are setting something up. What do you think?
Let's do it. Why not? There's Saudi Arabia. They want to make it happen. Be a big fight. It's a huge opportunity for Conor Benn. He's fighting his hero. You can knock the guy down, beat him up, beat the old man up, stepping stone free. You could always say, man, I sent him into retirement for good. Then again, he's fighting a guy who all he does is train. Even when he's not fighting, he's training. He says, why I like to fight? Because I like to train. This guy's legs are, I've seen him in person many times. His calves are huge. For a guy who's only 5'6", he's a monster in person.
Okay. And anything in Canadian boxing?
Yes, actually, there's a few things in Canadian boxing. I'm going to bring up two things here. These are moments in Canadian boxing history because nothing happened this week because there's not always a lot that happened in Canadian boxing history. So we're going to go back to 1984, Varsity Arena, Aaron Pryor versus Nicky Furlano, 15-round fight. Local hero Furlano goes the distance but can't topple the Hawk, Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor, everybody knows who he is. Big fight for Nicky Furlano. He's not really well known, but that happened in Canada. We don't always get a lot of fights in Canada, so I'd like to mention some of the stuff that happened.
So Varsity Stadium's in Alberta, right?
Yeah.
And
George, this happened in, what's that?
That's where the Eskimos play, right?
Yeah. What did you say? What stadium did you say?
Eskimos, Edmonton Eskimos.
And what stadium did you say before that?
You said Varsity Stadium.
Varsity Arena, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, they don't play there. No, this was indoor.
Oh, indoor. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So George Foreman had a thing in 1975 in Maple Leafs Garden. It was called the Foreman Five. This is coming off his loss at Rumble in the Jungle. He fought 5 different guys, 5 exhibition fights, few rounds fights. I believe they were 5 short rounds, 5 different fights in 1975. Just have him fought out there, trying to build hype, trying to get his name back up there in Maple Leafs Gardens after he lost the Rumble in the Jungle. Mr. George Foreman, one of the all-time greats.
I think my dad might have been there. He was in Toronto at that time, so maybe he was there. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, brother man. Thank you for that history. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your time, brother man. All right, guys. I tell you what, we're gonna wrap this puppy up here. We got 4 solid rounds in. I think we're set for the week. We're set for the weekend. Guys, gals, you're going to go out there. You're going to have fun. The weather's getting better. The days are getting longer, which means a bit more fun for everyone. So please, please, please be responsible, drink responsible, smoke responsible, do whatever you got to do. Just make sure you get home. Your family wants you home. Nobody wants to go to a funeral. So guys, be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. Be good to your families. And be good to us because we want you back here on Tuesday for our next show. So on that note, I'm Bobby Sampson. He is Mr. Chance Michaels. And
in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. And remember, anyone out there trying to achieve your goals, if anyone pisses on you, laughs at you, walk away, keep working hard. Because at the end of the day, the people who don't want you to succeed are the ones that are going to be the most vocal. Samp and Chance out.